what's up, everybody? Back with another episode of Commish'd. This episode, we're going to be talking about my fantasy football league that Ian's a part of. We've been kind of going through the last few weeks talking about trades and standings and all that. There's been some movement and some non-movement in the last few days. He's salty. We'll let him get into it a little bit, but. We'll touch on that in a few minutes, but I know last week we talked about a trade that Jeff and I had made. He sent me Alvin Kamara and Keenan Allen, and I sent him Deebo Samuel and Zach Moss. Obviously, at the time, pretty even trade.
Yeah.
Zach Moss had been going off the last 2 weeks before that. Deebo's a stud either way, but. Today there was some news. There was some breaking news that coming out of Indianapolis, Mr. Jonathan Taylor signed an extender. He re-signed, I should say. So Zach Moss's stock just went way down. So that just goes to show, like, I feel like it was an even trade when we made it. A few things happened and boom.
It was one of those things, you both had an unknown on your side. You didn't know Kamara coming off the suspension. I mean, I get it. He's been a beast.
Yeah.
But also, you just didn't know. I mean, that's 3 games that he missed. Was he going to be a little bit rusty? He was a little slow here and there, but still had a decent showing.
It was crazy. I think he had 22 points or something like that, but he had 13 catches.
Yeah.
Like, he had 9 points.
Nothing in the rushing game.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just goes to show you never know how things will work out. But
and then Moss, like you said, he was killing it.
He was
crushing it there.
He was.
And no, I personally didn't expect. I think you even mentioned, like, we didn't think that Taylor was going to play at all this year.
I thought the best bet at him playing is if somehow a team bit on trading for him, trading a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I thought there was 0 chance that the Colts paid him.
Like, why pay him now?
Yeah. Should have just paid him in the beginning and had him the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
I mean, I get it. So, that's a trade that worked out for you like crazy. I mean, because Keenan Allen's a monster.
Right.
Kamara's crushing it. So, it just goes to show, I mean, trades work most of the time if you can make an even trade like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the 1-for-1s or the 2-for-2 or anything. I always like to get... Either I'm sending a little bit extra or I'm getting a little bit extra.
Right.
But that's just because stuff like that can happen.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. But again, anything can happen. But if Jonathan Taylor this week gets hurt, pulls a hamstring, he's out the next few weeks, Zach Moss's stock goes right back up. Yeah. So you just never know. He's good to stash on your
bench. But he's not going to disappear either. No. So it's...
No. Especially with how well he was playing. Like, he was... I mean, he was contributing in the rushing game, obviously, but he caught a touchdown pass from Richardson, too. So
true.
But,
so this will be all right.
Yeah.
He'll have flex appeal every now and then. There.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you have guys on buys. You know, you can slide him in. He's going to get some points. Taylor's not going to take every snap. Yeah. Especially this is going to be his first week back. He's not going to... I think he'll probably be on a snap count coming off of injury. I don't know if he had an injury or not. Who knows?
I'm hoping he's on a snap count because I'm playing him in a league against him, not that I have him. So we'll see.
And so I got Keenan Allen and Kamara, and then speaking of trades, I flipped Kamara. So me and Ian actually made a trade. I sent you Kamara, Aaron Jones, and Chris Godwin. Yeah. And then you sent back to me ETN, Kenneth Walker, and Amari Cooper.
Yep.
So 3 for 3 on that one.
Yeah. And that's one where you got a little bit better on the side of running back. Yeah. And then me personally upgraded on receiver just because we've been talking about it. The Browns, they're not it right now. I don't know if it's because Chubb going and then everyone else just fell off, but... Yeah. Watson, I mean, Tom's been saying it all year. He's doo-doo.
Yes.
So I would take that upgrade there. Yeah, that hurt a little bit, that fall off from Etienne and Walker. Yeah. But Kamara, seeing him, PPR-wise, get all those catches, it was nice to see that. Yeah. At least. So that's just another one where trades, I mean, That was a pretty even trade, even though some people thought that I got smoked on it, which will lead me to the next trade that we had. The people saying that, and then what transpired made it even worse.
I thought ours was pretty even. I wanted ETN all year.
Yeah.
I've said that on the pod multiple times, and finally made something work. I didn't want to lose Kamara. I only had him a week.
Right.
You know, in his first week back, he had 13 catches. I think it's only going to be better from there.
Yeah.
And Aaron Jones, when he's on, he's on. Like week 1, he was the number 1 running back in the league. You know, but and I definitely think I would absolutely take Godwin over Amari Cooper.
Yeah, at least right now.
Yeah, especially, I mean, Mike Evans, they're on a bye this week, but Mike Evans, got hurt last game. Who knows what his status will be if he misses any time. Godwin elevates to the number 1, and Baker's playing well in Tampa right now. So, I thought that one was pretty even.
Yeah, even just building off of what him and Baker just achieved, like that would be huge even if Evans is still in.
Yeah, Godwin had a good game last week.
Yep.
He played well. He got a touchdown too, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, he had like 22 fantasy points.
I had him on my bench.
Yeah, me too. I did too. Yeah. But it's fine.
But yeah, Amari Cooper, he's probably going to be on my bench all year, except for when I have guys on buys. I mean, I'd feel comfortable sliding him in more than some other guys, like Drake London.
Or if he has a decent game, you could toss him with somebody, trade him for someone else. That's what I was like, is when you trade for someone who you're like, I might not use him, hopefully he pops off, and you can just like package him in with someone else, a little 2-for-1 action.
Exactly, for sure. Those are 2 trades that I've made in the last few weeks, and then Ian made another trade with Jeff. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah.
So you need everything, or you got it?
So first, if you recall, 2 weeks ago, Jeff even mentioned that him and I were working on a trade because I wanted Mahomes. I have Kelsey. He blocked me from getting Mahomes in the draft. So I've been trying for weeks.
Yeah, he smoked you there.
He did.
He had no need for Mahomes.
He didn't need him. Still doesn't need him.
Yeah.
And then the last week, he sent me a trade and I countered one. It was back and forth, 7 a.m, all the way until I think it was like 8:15. I was walking out the door for work. We finally got it done. So it took like an hour and 15 minutes back and forth. Got the trade done. Sent it out. Tom put it up. We do it where the league just votes on it, and we have a text chain. Yeah. So you either thumbs up, thumbs down. Simple as that. So that way it's just, if you get it done, it's right there. You don't gotta wait the 2-3 days or whatever it is.
Yeah. Normally it's 2-3 days you have to wait, and we've done this since I started the league. It's always been the same. Everybody vote. Once you get even if 7 people vote first, as long as you get 7 thumbs up from the league, I'll put it through literally within 10 minutes. Most of the time, as long as I'm not super busy.
Right.
But yeah, we always do that just because it's 1 over half.
Yeah.
Right. So that way, if it's not split, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right. So it's been 7. I put it up. I put it in the group chat. I sent the screenshot.
Yeah, and the trade was, so Jeff was giving me Mahomes, Olave, and Barkley. So those 3. Whew. I was giving him Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Kyron Williams, and
Rashad White.
So I was giving him 2 running backs for 1. Then it was Russ and a wide receiver, and then I swear there was someone else in there too.
No, it was Barkley, Mahomes, Olave for White, Sutton, Williams, and Wilson.
Okay, so that was the trade. Jeff accepted. I sent it to him. He accepted it. 2 grown men accepted this trade. Jeff loved it. He loved it. I loved it. It's week 4. So there's no collusion in this trade. I have Kelsey. I get that. I wanted the stack. So we sent it out. There was 3 that liked it, thumbs up, when I was driving for work. Went to work.
Including
Great.
you and Jeff, though.
Including me and Jeff, and then Pat, my boy, of course. He had my back on this one.
Yeah.
And then I get to work, and there was another for it. So we already had 4.
4 yeses.
Yes. Well, no, we had the 4 thumbs up, and then all of a sudden there's 2 thumbs down. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then Pat said yes, so that was technically 5. So I'm texting Tom. I was like, hey, can you go give me a thumbs up, blah, blah, blah.
Now, in the meantime, I was slammed at work that day.
Because you got to remember, people work for a living. We're not just dealing with fantasy football, but it is a full-time job. There shouldn't be politics involved.
Between Ian, other people in the league texting me one off, and then the group chat, I literally had like 110 text messages when I looked at my phone. Like, what are we doing here?
So not only are Tom and I co-hosts here, we were also co-workers. We worked together for years. We've been doing this now for a while. Yeah. We're buddies.
Sure.
Best buds.
Yeah.
I thought we were. So we needed one more vote. I'm texting this man over here. Well, back up. One guy said no. And then all I said in the text was, come on, Jordan. Or I see you, Jordan. And he changed it. And he side texted me. He was like, oh, I didn't mean to say no. We'll get into that.
We'll get into Jordan.
So he flipped it back to yes. So I needed just one more. And so me, thinking my buddy Tom over here would just be like, yeah. He's like, no. And then I look, he put no in there. So then it came down to some guy I don't even know. This guy, Tim and Tom just screwing me over. So everyone's just against it. I get where a lot of people come from. I was getting a lot. I get it. Like, of course, I'm going to accept that trade. Yeah. My thing is, everyone that said no, if that trade was offered to them, they would gladly accept.
So here's what I'll say, right? I don't disagree with you. If that trade was sent to me, I'm accepting that all day.
Send it through.
But here's the thing. I think the same thing happens. I think even if I accept that trade, it gets vetoed because... So we talked about Jordan. Jordan originally put a thumbs down. You said, I think you said, like, come on, Jordan, or like, what are you doing? Something like that. Yeah. He changed it to a yes. He texted you. Yeah. Right? So there was another person who voted yes, who texted me on the side saying, nah, that trade is... That's one-sided.
Say no.
So, like, I texted in the group. I texted in the group chat so everybody could see it. I'm like, going forward... Your first vote is the legit vote. Don't change anything. Going for like this one, whatever. It already happened. It is what it is. Leave your votes or do what you want. Going forward, your first vote is your vote. That's what we're counting.
Yeah.
Jordan at that point changed his vote back to no.
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, Tim's vote didn't even matter because there was already 6 people that did a thumbs down. Tim also did a thumbs down, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway if Jordan didn't change it. But, so my thing for the trade, like, 1, I've never said no to a trade before. 2, I've never even been in a league, I don't believe, where there's been a vetoed trade. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In my league, we've been running it for, I think, 4 years now. Yeah. There's never been more than 1 thumbs down to a trade. Yeah. So... For me, the reason I did a thumbs down is it felt like it was a 1 for 3 trade, right? So, like, I put, even though through 4 weeks it's close, I absolutely would take Mahomes over Russell Wilson, and it's not close. I think Sutton and White, I've said it on the pod all year, like, they're sitting on most people's bench. Barkley and Olave are not going to be on anybody's bench ever.
Yeah.
And Kyron Williams, he's balling out. Yeah. So, like, that's why I was thinking, like, Kyron, 1 for 3. The other 3 guys are, like...
I get that. But, again, Jeff accepted it.
I get it.
He was like, I'll take that.
But that's just why... So that's the reason I said no. And I'm assuming that's why everybody else who said no.
I think people were just mad they didn't get that. That's the thing. And now there haven't been any trades since, haven't been any chatter even. Some dude sending a friggin' playlist of music in this group text now. Because there's nothing, because there's nothing else to, like, do. Because me, I was mad. Very mad. Not like...
He was salty.
Fantasy football mad. Like, I love Tom outside of fantasy football, but I wanted to throat punch him in the moment, fantasy football-wise. Yeah. Everyone I wanted to drive to their house and slash all their tires, but I didn't.
So what I said to you is if you switched out Sutton or White for like CD Lamb, I saw that.
Tell me what players to put in this trade now.
Well, I was saying like I think that would be a lot more fair. right?
Not for me though, because I'd be losing Lamb.
But so you would be receiving
walking it back.
No, you'd be receiving a stud receiver, a stud running back, and a stud quarterback for a stud running back in Kyren Williams and a stud receiver, and then 2 bums.
No, because then that would just be giving Williams for Barkley, which Williams is better than Barkley right now, and then I'm giving Lamb for Olave, which Lamb is better than Olave right now.
But you're getting
Mahomes. Just getting Mahomes. I'm only upgrading at quarterback, losing at running back and wide receiver.
You get the stack.
But see, it doesn't make sense. At that
So
point.
I don't think Lamb is much different than Olave, if I'm being honest. Like, I might even take Olave over Lamb just because Dak. And like Olave, no matter who he plays with, he gets points. Like me and Jeff talked about Olave. I almost gave him Debo for Olave straight up, and I like Debo because he's the Swiss Army knife. He can do anything.
No.
So I almost made that 1-for-1 trade just because I like Olave a lot. So I personally have him on like the same plateau as Lamb, and Barkley if he's healthy.
The team's just so bad right now.
But that leads to his favor because he's the only one who's going to be getting the ball. You saw how terrible they've been since he got hurt. So, like, when he's healthy, he's a top 3 running back in the league. Easy. I'd see him, McCaffrey, and Eckler.
Wow.
You know? Kyren Williams, like I said, he's balling out right now. Yeah. He looks legit.
And he's not slowing down.
He's not. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's vetoed. Yeah. My thing is always, I'm never going to veto a trade unless it's clearly there's collusion. It's week 12 or week 7 or 8 when they stop doing trades. At that point, someone's just giving all their studs for a kicker and a defense. Yeah. Then I'm like, no, we can't have it.
Right.
But it hurts when you get vetoed and you only have 4 people that you know that will like say yes for you. Where that's again. We talked about it when Pat was on the one time. Like, politics are huge for trades sometimes in some leagues. It can be like that because I get it.
In your big league, is there a lot of trades that get vetoed?
No. Because it's where they know if it's a weird trade, you almost get the text before the trade alert gets sent out. Like, hey, I'm going to need you to say yes on this one.
Wow.
So looking at it, I get it. My team would have been crazy.
What would your team have been?
My team would have been Mahomes, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Barkley, Olave, Lamb, Kelsey, and just like,
God,
my name would be on that probably. I get that.
That'd be a trip to the championship.
But
immediately.
But that's why I was making that trade because that almost guarantees it. I mean, I'm like the top projected team this week, and I have Russell Wilson as my quarterback and Cortland Sutton as like my second wide receiver.
When Jordan was calling out mine and your trade.
Yeah.
I like I said, I thought that was a pretty even trade.
Yeah, and I thought it was even too.
Yeah.
But there's people will see things that they're like one-sided or lopsided, and it's like.
And like I told him, I'm like, dude, Ian literally has the highest projection in the entire league right now after that trade. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
I get projections don't win you the championship, but it's like.
But it counts for something, I think. If you have high projection, you're going to have good guys in your lineup. Yeah. Whether or not they perform, that's a different story. But, I mean, if they're projected to score a certain amount of points, they have to be decent.
Yeah. It's just, at the end of the day, I think 2 men agree to a trade, or women, or whatever you are. If anyone trades, if they both accept, it should be good. Yeah. Unless, again, collusion, then that's what vetoes should be for. It's in the past. I don't hate anyone outside of fantasy, but in fantasy, there's only 4 people that I like in this league now. And that's it. Maybe 3. Jordan, you're not one of them.
Yeah.
Well, because he told me what you texted him. And it's different than what you texted me. So we're going to leave you on that, Jordan.
Jordan, he's been... He says in the group chat, send me trades.
Doesn't trade.
Trades.
Why don't you trade?
He says, in the last 2 weeks, I want to see how my team does this week.
It's week 4.
I know.
That's when you do it.
You got to sling some deals here.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I've been sending... And one other thing with after this trade, Mud Dogs sends the dumbest trade offer after you just vetoed this trade.
I saw a screenshot of
Why would I even want to do anything with you? No, I would love Hill. but not for my whole team.
Yeah, he was asking for what? Kelsey?
Yeah, it was like Kelsey, Aaron Jones, Kamara for, I don't know, for Hill. Like it wasn't
Hill
that
and
bad,
some
but it was
Hill,
something.
Higbee.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. But then it's like, if I accept that, I'm sure he might know 5 people in the league over me that would say yes. So then he might have a shot.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not, no. But with that being said, I'm over it.
Well, let us know what you think of that trade. Mahomes, Barkley, Olave for Sutton, White, doo-doo, Russ, and Kyron Williams. Let us know if you would have vetoed that trade. I know I did.
We know you did, Tom.
I got the power. But hey, thanks again for watching another episode. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe. We appreciate everybody showing us love online.
Mm-hmm.
Check back next week. We're gonna have another special guest on. So yeah.
Mentally special, but
No, that's just rude. That's just rude. But hey, like always, if we ain't your commish, stop being a